Hello everyone, JayPower here and welcome to another first-person VOD. This time it is going to be a Protoss against Zerg on a map Whirlwind, as you can see. Just wanted to make some VODs because I've been playing ladder a bit more recently, playing Protoss, been a bit more active, not streaming quite yet, probably going to stream some this weekend. But yeah, it's PvZ on Daybreak and I sort of wanted to show you how to play proper macro PvZ. I think this is a style that's been very widely used in Heart of the Swarm now. It's basically opening with a Stargate, whether you go Gateway Expand or Forge Fast Expand. You open with Stargate, you get some Phoenix for scouting, harassment, and usually the Zergs will open Hydralisk to defend that, and then you attack fast to Colossus to hold that off. Then then the Zerg will add in either Corruptors or Swarm Host. Some even go Muta. Well, against Stargate, mostly they won't go Muta, but some still do it, but it's just a little something you don't have to be caught off guard by. But usually you open with, you follow it up with Colossus after Phoenix, you still have the Stargate to add in Voidrays for later, and you stay relatively low tech when it comes to gateway armies. You will be mostly Salad heavy, and then you add in a lot of Colossus and Voidrays, and then eventually you head up towards Storm. So that's kind of the army composition you want to go for. Excuse me. So this Whirlwind, I went gateway first into gas. You don't have to go gateway first. I think in Heart of the Swarm, it's a lot more favorable for pros to go to the late game than it was for Wings of Liberty. So I don't mind people going Forge Fast Expand as much as I did in Wings of Liberty. Maybe I'll make some guides as well from Forge Fast Expand builds, so probably have to experiment on ladder with it as well, see what's better. I've noticed so far that when you open Gateway Expand, that the hydras may seem faster. Maybe I was just a bit late with my Phoenix. This is something I have to play around a bit if I go back to Forge Fast Expand or if I stay going Gateway Expand. But yeah, like I said before, I think it's in my opinion more acceptable now to go gateway to go Forge Fast Expand, because you don't really need the potential in the early to mid game anymore to get ahead against Zerg, to do damage, to kill drones, to make the Zerg not make drones. So yeah, that's sort of my opinion on PvZ right now. It's still early into the game, so it's still hard to tell. But these are sort of my first thoughts. So I'm scouting my opponent last, which is a bit unfortunate. I did get a Salad to be safe. I see the creep here, so I know he expanded. Not sure if it was a hedge first or not, probably not. Just checking out, see if I can see some gases. I don't see any gases, so that's good. Usually Zerglings will kill your probe before you can see that, and you're kind of in the dark, but this time he kept making drones, didn't make any Zerglings. So otherwise his Zerglings a bit late. So I knew what he was up to. As you notice, by the way, I messed up my sound a bit, so you don't hear. I think it's like attacking noises. You don't hear that, but I think everything else is enabled. So apologies for that, and I will make sure to fix it in the next. Well, not the next VOD, because that was also recorded without sound, but in a VOD after that. So I come here, I see a Spinecrawler, I see a Queen Zergling, so it's going to be very defensive. He has to be, because the gas is late. If he didn't get a Spinecrawler, I probably would have added 3 more gateways and just try to put some pressure on him. But I see he's not taking a third base, so and he got a spine, so there's no reason to try to pressure him. I did get some because I saw the late gas. I didn't get my wall up very fast. As you can see now, 6 minutes is usually when the Zerg's speed will finish, when they take the gas around 3 minutes, but he took it a bit later, so I was a bit slow on my wall because his gas was late as well. So I got my expo up. I have my Stargate in my wall, which is something I don't really like, but you kind of have to do on maps like these because the ramps are really wide, which is in my opinion very annoying, because you can't use a 2-building wall like pylon, 2 buildings. You have to use a pylon and 3 buildings, so that's something I don't like about some of the new maps. Yeah, so I'm starting out by the hallucinated Phoenix. I got a cannon to be safe, but I saw he's just getting speed and he's getting layer, no Baling Nest, no Roach Warren, so I will cancel that cannon shortly. Yeah, I should have killed Overlord with a Phoenix, but because I thought he wasn't going to scout it with Overlord, but my target is in my wall, so he did see it, of course. So I should have cleared some Overlords with my Phoenix that I have out now. It's a bit of a mistake by me. So I'm getting my gases right away, a bit early than I usually do. Normally I would take it after I have about 4 Phoenix, and just get the +1 and try to take my third base with a Gateway army and tech with Robo behind that. But I feel in Heart of the Swarm you have to tech to Robo a lot faster than you have to in Wings of Liberty, so I'm getting my gas a bit earlier so I can get that Robo a bit earlier, which I'm by the way not doing. I think a good timing to get a Robo is after your second Phoenix. That's usually when you have the gas. I don't recommend getting a Twilight Council that fast, so you don't need to start your +1 really fast. So yeah, these are kind of my thoughts. I should have gone my Robo earlier. It's like 8:50 almost, so should have gone that earlier instead of my +1 attack. It's not really needed in my opinion. It's if you got sentries and a lot of salads, then Zerglings won't do you that much, and a lot of Zergs will just stack to hydras right away. As you can see, there's the Hydralisk Den, quick and easy scout. Bit of a mislift with the Phoenix, there you go. Killing a queen right away, that's good. Because my Robo is a bit late and I do want to take my my third base a bit faster, so I'm making some more Phoenix. I'm probably going to go up to 6 or 7, maybe even 8, because I don't want to die to a Hydralisk attack, and I think Phoenix are still very good against Hydras. Even if the Hydras are in reasonable numbers, you just need to have a big enough Gateway army to tank some damage basically, and then your Phoenix can lift a lot of the Hydras as well. So I'm waiting a bit, seeing all those Hydras to take my third base, mostly because the third base here on this map is quite hard to take as well. If this was like Cloud Kingdom, which is not in the map anymore, if this was like Daybreak or I don't know any other maps, so that's or Hana, I guess. I don't know if that's still on the map, I think, or is it? I need to play some more HUDs. Then I would take my third bit earlier, but it's under 11 minutes, so it's not late in my opinion. I would like to have it down at 10 minutes, but I think 11 minutes, I wouldn't consider 11 minutes late. So I'm sending some Zealots here to see if I can catch him off guard and see if I can get some damage done, because I see he's only making Hydras and he probably has some Circlings, but I don't see a lot of Roaches, so I have to see if I can do some damage with that. So see his Hydras are there, so I try to sort of lure his Hydras out of position and then move in with some Zealots. I think I'm having some low FPS here. I'm still trying to figure out some settings here, so apologies for the low quality, or at least not as high as I usually make VODs of. So I have my third base on the way, getting some cannons. Probably should have made a wall at the rocks there, getting my Twilight. As you can see here, my Twilight is it's quite late, because you need to attack too fast Colossus. You need to get some observers, possibly some sentries if you want to hold ramps on this map. The ramps are quite big, so you need some more sentries if your opponent is being very aggressive. So you can't really afford a Twilight Council and a Robo while you're expanding. So that's why I said before that you don't need to get the +1 attack that fast, because you can't really start your +2 right away. I mean, the +1 helps really when you're taking your third, and your Zealots are very good against +1. Your +1 Zealots will be very good against Zerglings, but I think it's not, you can't really afford it. But maybe if I take my gas earlier, and I still need to work on this build, so I wouldn't count it out yet, because of course you much rather have the +1 and Colossus and a third base, but judging from this game, it doesn't seem like I can afford to do it. I mean, I have a lot of gas, but I started mining gas for my third base already. You really want to have better gas income before you take your third base. But it's something I have to experiment with. So I'm seeing a lot of corruptors. I saw a Spire, so it may have been Mira, but I mean, I have 7 Phoenix, so there's no way he's going Mira unless he's a bit bad, I would say. So yeah, it couldn't be Mira, and he's going for corruptors. I see now, and a hydra corruptor attack with some roaches. Oh no, roaches, sorry. So right now I put up a lot of cannons at my third base. As you saw, I'm putting up cannons at my second base. This is because if he tries to push in and he kills my class with my corruptors, I mean my cannons will help a lot against the corruptors, because I just need to keep one Colossus alive really against the Hydra's attack, and then I will be fine. I mean I have double Robo. Prefer you don't really want to make stalkers in this situation. You really want to dump all your gas into tech units, Colossus, Voidrays. So this attack was a bit annoying for me, but not that annoying to be honest, because I got a lot of Hydras. Hydras are expensive. I lost some Colossi, but I think in the end it was a pretty decent trade for me, considering I only was on 4 gateways. So I'm just getting some more gateways now, starting Voidray production as well. But this is kind of what you want to do. I should do some more scouting now. I need to see if he's got a fourth base already. I do have an observer in a very nice position, which is in between his third base and his natural base, so I can basically see any units he makes right away, and I can prepare for that in advance. So this is what I mean. I'm making a lot of Colossus, making a lot of Voidrays. So you don't really want to spend your gas on stalkers. You really only want to make zealots as gateway units. This is what I mean. By the way, now I can move my Colossus in my natural back, which I'm not doing, but I should have done, and have them over the cannon. So even if my army is at my third base, I can protect my Colossi, but really don't want to do that. So he's doing another attack. It's really not that strong. Honestly, I don't think my opponent was macroing very well. If you play on ladder, and if you're in Master League, then your opponents might play better. My MMR is a bit low, so I'm playing very low Master League players at the moment. But it's my MMR is getting better. And now he's adding in some roaches, which I think is a good decision. So I'm going to start in some Immortals and get Templar Archives. I already have Charge. I don't know if you saw that. Having some frame drops here as well, I think. Again, I'm trying to fix this so I can have some really good 1080p with 30 or 60 FPS, but I just didn't get the settings right this time. But just to let you know, I'm still working on that. So I see he took his fourth base already, but he doesn't really have any drones mining there, and he's not mining gas, so I'm not really worried about a massive tech switch into Swarm Host or Vipers, or even, well, I guess Vipers, you don't need that many of them. You only need about 4 to pull in the Colossus and a Voidray, so that was a pretty bad time warp, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, he really doesn't have the numbers. I don't have any Colossi, so his corruptors are kind of wasted supply as well. And he's splitting up his army to deal with my harassment. So I'm continuing upgrades, still have my robos going. I think I have a second Stargate already. Trying to find my Immortals that I made here. They're in the corner over there. So yeah, I'm doing some more damage at his fourth base. Probably going to kill the hatchery. I'm a bit supply black because he killed the cannons. I'm already at +3 attack. If you didn't see, he is only on +1 ranged attack, so his upgrades are really bad. So if you see engagement going heavily in my favor, even though he has decent army count, it's because he's just way behind in upgrades, and yeah, pretty much that. So I see he's still making Roach, Hydra, Corruptor, which is, I mean, it didn't work in Wings of Liberty. I don't see why it would work in Heart of the Swarm, unless you're adding in Vipers or Swarm Host, so I really don't know why Cirques play this way, but so be it. I'm just gonna mass my Colossus and Voidrays and just beat the army style, just like in Wings. I guess the only good thing about this is that Hydras are now faster, but I really don't see why people think it has such a big impact. As you can see here, once again, my cannons in my natural are protecting my Colossus, which are rallied that way, and you can see I have just way too many units. It's just, yes, Roach, Hydra. It doesn't really have Corruptors anymore, and yeah, I have 3 Colossi, and I'm adding a Void Race as well. So there's some more Corruptors, but it's not really enough. I'm trying to get a better concave here. His Hydras and Roach side is gone. I still have 2 mortals as well. In this game I forgot my mothership core, by the way. I'm still really bad at that in every matchup to remember to get that unit. Yeah, I'm working on that as well. The Nexus scan is really useful in these kind of situations, so that's something I need to get as well. So meanwhile I'm taking to Storm. I think Storm is already done, but I'm not adding in some High Templar, so this is something I should have done a lot earlier, because if I was playing someone that was actually like good and on my level, this would have been a lot harder, because I'm just adding in Zealots and whatnot, and you really need High Templar. If your opponent is throwing these Roach Hydra Corruptors armies at you in a maxed rate, I mean, sure, Colossus Voidray is good against this, like I said, but if he just continues to do that, you need something more cost efficient, because especially on a map like this, I really should not have been able to take a 4th base this easily. I'm taking a 5th base very easily as well. So if I was playing a good player, I would have to take to Storm early, because I would be stuck on 3 bases a lot more, and I need to be cost efficient to keep up with him being on 4 or even 5 bases. But like I said, my MMR is a bit low, so apologies for that. So I'm seeing he's just making Roaches and Hydras. Also, my Observer, which is between his natural and my turret, has gone unscouted. So yeah, we used the engagement, by the way. It was actually decent time warp, and I just saw everything. Holy crap, that sound was loud. I'm gonna pause the video here, and yeah, it's a pretty straightforward game. This is kind of what you have to do, only add in my Templar earlier. Normally I would not have been able to take my 4th base as easily, and that's just a lot of gas that I had. I had some excess gas during the time as well, because I was just making Stalkers and Zealots, and then just made some Colossus and Voidray, so that's not really that gas intensive. So you really want to add in some High Templars. If you're stuck on 3 bases, just keep it with Zealots, and then dump that gas into High Templar to be more cost efficient and make up for that you're only on 3 bases for most of the time. Well, I mean, you gotta get a 4th eventually, but you'll be stuck longer on 3 bases. So hopefully you learned something from this VOD. Make sure to subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.